You always love our IELTS Face-Off studio, and I love it too. And what's the best way to introduce our IELTS expert than to really introduce him and have him come out from the darkness? Hello, Patrick.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Fantastic, and this is the first time that we're meeting, and it's the first time that you're on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming. Can you just, quickly introduce yourself? Our audience here would probably love to hear what your Vietnamese story is like.
So I arrived in Vietnam about 5-6 years ago, and at that time, I had planned just to travel the country. And I bought a motorcycle. I learned how to ride a motorcycle in the streets of Ho Chi Minh City. And I had planned actually to drive up to Hanoi. I made it as far as Dalat, and I ended up living for a year in Dalat, where I started teaching and working. And after a while, I moved down to Ho Chi Minh City, and I have been working there ever since, teaching and doing a lot of creative and excellent work with IELTS here in Vietnam.
You're part of the show, and today you're coming on as an IELTS expert. What kind of expert do you think you are?
That is an interesting question, isn't it? I think for me, it's really important that not only do we teach the skills that come along with giving students the best possibility of success at the IELTS, but also understanding how we feel while we're taking the IELTS. So if I can help students feel more motivated, feel more confident by understanding exactly what's expected of them, and then combining that with the actual skills of the IELTS, I think that helps them a little bit more.
That's fantastic. I think a lot of people will be asking you quite a number of questions today.
Sure, bring it on.
Yeah, but before we go into the questions, let's take a look at our quiz for the audience. So everybody, are you ready to take on the IELTS Face-Off quiz? The quiz today is, you will only hear English accents on the IELTS test.
Good question.
Is this true or false? Yes, I see a hand.
Hello everybody, I am Ngân Khánh. In my opinion, this answer is false.
All right, thank you. Yes, Patrick, what do you think?
He's right. The IELTS, it's not what you expect that gives you a hard time on the IELTS, that trips you up. It's what you don't expect. Imagine if this whole time you're listening to English accents and you're practicing with English accents, and so of course in the IELTS you expect to hear an English accent. And then you get Australian, you get American, you get something completely different, Scottish even. It's really important that you are prepared to hear any type of accent so that you aren't surprised by anything on the IELTS, and you can do what you came to do and listen actively.
Fantastic. Now, do you have other tips today for the listening section? It can be a very fast section,
sure,
as I've heard.
What is really important for me is I think a lot of the success for the IELTS listening test comes before you actually listen to the section. And this means you need to prepare yourself by becoming really quick at your pre-listening strategies. What do I mean by this? I mean, you need to read the question carefully, of course. You only have a certain number of words or numbers that you can put, and of course you have to make sure that you do that correctly. Spelling is also very important. You want to underline keywords. So if you underline the important words, nouns, verbs, people's names, places, that's going to help you listen more clearly to when the answer is coming. And if you can just pull out those words when the answer comes, then it's going to make it easier for you to answer. Also, you want to predict as much as possible. I see many students, they just don't do this. When you have your listening paper, you should be making marks all over it. You should be predicting nouns, verbs, adjectives, and then finally, oftentimes in the IELTS listing, they'll tell you to go back and check your answers. I advise against it. If you've done your pre-listening strategies correctly, then you should have the answers. You should always be looking ahead and seeing what you can predict for the next section to come.
Fantastic. Well, that's really great advice. And I'm seeing a lot of smiles in the audience, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions.
Bring it on.
All right, guys, which questions do you have for Patrick?
My name is Vân Anh, and I'm currently a student of Hanoi Law University. And when I learn English, I always have problem with learning new word. Could you give me some tips to enrich my vocab? Thank you.
That's a very good question. It's not a problem unique to English learners. It's a problem unique to everyone who's ever tried to learn a language. I myself have spent 5 years trying to learn Vietnamese, and there are still many words I don't know. And I think the important thing about this is I don't know them because I'm not using them. Many students try to learn a lot of academic words to prepare for the IELTS, for example. Words that we don't normally use in regular conversation. I try to tell a lot of my students that the IELTS speaking exam should be treated like a conversation with a friend. Use the language, use the words that fit. Don't try to use these big academic words to impress the examiner, because they won't fit. So when you are preparing the words that you need to practice, you should be preparing words that you would use every day in Vietnamese, but just practice them in English.
Well, thank you. You make it sound very simple and very structured.
Easier said than done, I know, but that's my best advice.
Fantastic. Anybody else has a question? Oh, yes.
Hello everybody, my name is Phương. Now I have a question for you. Should we use collocation and idiom in writing part 2? And if so, how to use them smartly?
Collocations are more normal in common speech than idioms, of course. And you should absolutely be using the appropriate collocations, the words that often go together, usually prepositions and other things that make your sentence more complete. But when we think about idioms, you shouldn't be seeking out idioms just to use them in the IELTS examination. And this goes for speaking as well. Usually we are taught that, hey, if I use some idioms, I'll get a higher band score. But that's not necessarily the case. You want to write as natural as possible. I think you should forego worrying about idioms and practice more your plan, which is what you do before you do your writing task, so you have good reasons, good examples, good results of those examples, and that's going to be much more effective than putting in an idiom.
Fantastic. Does that answer your question? Well, Patrick, we had 2 questions today, and they're all fantastic questions. I do think they're all questions that people ask a lot of the time.
Definitely.
You know, we're going to be able to ask more questions in a couple of episodes, but I'm really, really excited to find out who the person of the Voice of the Week of this week is.
Me too.
Over there as if we're going to find our answer there.
I have a feeling. I see this big screen. I think something's going to come out of it.
Well, it will tell us the secret as to who will be our Voice of the Week. Screen, open up.
Let's do it.
Hi guys, my name is Khánh Huyền and I'm 20 years old. I'm currently a third-year student at the University of Languages and International Studies. My major is English teacher education, which means that I will become a teacher in the near future. So, to talk a little bit about myself, about my hobbies to be specific, I would not consider myself a bookworm, but rather a book enthusiast. I have a deep passion for reading books in general, classic novels or fantasy novels in particular. It is really an honor for me to be a candidate for the IELTS Face-Off Season 4, and hopefully I will perform well in the exam room. Thank you very much for listening.
Double promotion.
Double promotion. All right, Huyền, where are you? We're excited to meet you. Come on out. Welcome. And your chair is over there. Please
Let's
enjoy.
do it. Hello.
Hi.
Are you ready?
I think I am.
All right, you'll do great. Here we go. Now in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. And how do you feel when you see other people throw garbage in the street?
It's really annoying and sometimes disturbing when I witness the trash being thrown away on the streets by other people. And because in my belief, a well-mannered and well-educated person will not litter on the streets or in any public places. And this somehow shows, has formed a really negative impressions about that person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now in this next part, I'd like you to talk about a topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Here is a piece of paper.
Thank you.
And a pencil for making notes.
Yes.
And here's your topic. I'd like you to describe a website that you'd like to visit.
Yes.
Now remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Okay. So, like many people, I am a frequent internet user. I search the net on a daily basis, and most of the time for the purpose of education and entertainment. So, as you can guess, I know a lot of websites, but the only one that I bookmarked on my favorite toolbar is TED.com. So basically, TED is a website created by a non-profit organization called TED, whose main mission is to spread the ideas to people living in every corner of the world. And interestingly, most of the information and knowledge is presented in the forms of video so that people can absorb it with ease. Well, so I first came across this website when I was, wandering on the internet in an attempt to find a suitable video for my university assignment. And the moment I saw the website, I was hooked by the diversity of information, which was categorized into different topics, namely education, technology, or community, and the list goes on. So I think it would not be an exaggeration to say that TED, this website has provided me with a wealth of valuable knowledge and helped me, broaden my horizon and better my listening comprehension skills. And another really intriguing or engaging feature of this website is that there are also plenty of inspirational and motivational talks delivered by people from different professions. So whenever I feel down in the dump, I will seek for such kind of videos in order to lift my spirit. So to cut the long story short, I think that TED is a really useful website that I will recommend to everyone.
Thank you for that. Now in this next part, I'd like to continue the topic a little bit. Can you tell me, what are some of the different reasons why people use the internet?
First of all, many people use the internet to find information because they want to find the resources that are related to their major, their work or study. And the internet is considered an endless source of information that people can get access to freely and conveniently.
Thank you very much. Yes. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Huyền. All right, Huyền, are you excited to find out what the audience thinks of your performance?
Well, yes, I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, audience, it's now time for you to vote. You have about 1 minute. Please use your phone to vote for the band score that you think our guest Huyền today has achieved. Everybody, the results are in, and this is your results. 17% gives you a 6.5 to a 7.
Wow.
And then the other 33% gives you a 7 to a 7.5. And 50% gave you a 7.5 and above.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think? Are you happy with the audience votes?
Yes, I have to say that although I did see some mistakes in my answer, but in general, I'm quite satisfied with it.
Fantastic. Patrick, what is your expert opinion on this?
Absolutely. I mean, overall, it was a really strong performance. And to address what you said about mistakes, I want everyone to know that it's okay to make some mistake. Don't try to be perfect, try to do your best. Your grammar was really, really nice, so that's a really good thing I wanted to compliment you on. In part 3, you were answering some nice questions by using the grammar I asked you. And a couple of other things, you had some nice use of idioms, right? But I want you to be careful. Because you are such a good speaker, most of your idioms came off as really nice and natural, but a couple of them were a little bit tricky, okay? So just be careful with throwing idioms in there. But your fluency and coherence and your pronunciation overall were a really nice job. So I think the audience was spot on. They had a really good idea of how well she did. So again, congratulations. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Huyền, for coming on to the show and being very brave. Of course, because you're so brave, we have a couple of gifts for you. So where's the gift? Patrick, would you like to present this?
Oh, I would love to. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. And Huyền, this is not the end of Voice of the Week journey, because people can still vote for you to potentially be a winner of the IELTS Voice of the Year.
Wow.
And if you are the winner, then you'll have a chance to spend 1 whole week at Macquarie University in Sydney. Guys, we still have a lot more great content. Our lovely friend Thảo Tâm, she's going to take us to another university in Wales. It's called Aberystwyth. So if you haven't heard of the name, now you know the name.
So welcome to Aberystwyth University. It's a really nice day today, so a really good chance to promote a really good school. And Aberystwyth is known for its robotics, it's known for its artificial intelligence, and what's more, you gotta watch to find out. So welcome to Studying UK 101. Hi, so that was an introduction of Aberystwyth University, and I know you guys as international students have a lot of questions. So today I have Ruth here with me, who is gonna talk to you guys about the application process and much more. So Ruth, could you introduce yourself a bit?
My name's Ruth Owen Lewis and I'm the Director of the International Office at Aberystwyth University.
Right, so this is our favorite question on the study in UK, and the question goes, what is your absolute favorite thing about Aberystwyth?
Aberystwyth University is a historic university and it's got a really interesting history to it. It's the first university in Wales. It was established in 1872. So what happened was there was no university in Wales. It didn't exist. And so there was a group of people who were based in Aberystwyth who decided they wanted to have a university in Wales. So they fundraised around the whole of the country for 3 years. And basically, that's why we call Aberystwyth the People's University. The other thing that I am passionate about with Aberystwyth is the fact that it's such a friendly place and such a friendly university, and the international students come here and they can integrate really quickly and make loads of best friends.
It does really seem like a lovely place. And are there any courses or other aspects that make Aberystwyth really stand out of all of the other universities in Wales?
It's a broad-based university, but we have some really good, strong departments. International Politics is a flagship department for the university. We have other departments like the Institute for Biological, Environmental and Rural Sciences that you met earlier on. We have the Computer Science department, so for artificial intelligence we're in the top 10 in the UK, and very strong in robotics and so on. But we have the business school, we have the law school where we recruit a lot of our international students, especially from Vietnam to the business school.
That's lovely. And I love that you mentioned a lot about international students, because the next question is concerning international students.
Sure.
So we're really curious about the application process into Aberystwyth University. So could you briefly discuss about that?
Sure, so any students interested in any of our courses, they can either apply through UCAS or they can apply directly if they're specifically interested in Aberystwyth. So they just need to go onto our website and all the information is on there.
Very last question, but also very important to us. Is there any sort of support program that is specifically made for international students?
Yeah, we have lots of scholarships for our international students. So absolutely, and for Vietnam we have some really attractive scholarships where they can get money off their tuition fee. There's also some merit-based scholarships or excellent scholarships for the really strong students.
Right, so a lot of support, very easy application, and also very, very interesting courses. And more on these courses and more on the highlights of Aberystwyth University coming up next. So thank you, Ruth, so much for being here with us, and let's continue to our next part.
Hi, my name is Dr. Ross Mulkey. I'm a senior lecturer in biochemistry in Aberystwyth University. So we cover everything from human biology to human health, sports and exercise science and biomedical sciences. We then move into the animal sector where we have things like veterinary biosciences, animal science and equine science. We also have some of the sort of the environmental type sciences, but then we also have some more applied ones such as our agriculture schemes, as well as pure sciences such as biochemistry, genetics and microbiology. So a huge array of different degree schemes that we offer at undergraduate, but then we also offer some of those as well at postgraduate. So if you're interested in coming to do master's degrees or PhDs, then we have a variety there. So if you're thinking and you're interested about coming to Aberystwyth University and particularly studying in IBERS, what we really would like you guys to do is keep in touch with us, because it's always good for us to be able to discuss with you about what you would like to do, how you want to do it, and to support you through the process. So spend time having a look at the application process. We like to see a personal statement as well. And if you want some advice on a personal statement, there's lots of good things that we have on our website. But think about the things of why you want to do these schemes. So when we're looking for something in a student, we want to see passion and enthusiasm for your science.
At Aberystwyth University in the Department of Computer Science, we are offering a wide range of courses from software engineering to artificial intelligence, robotics, data science and embedded systems and engineering. Computer science department you want to go to, you start by looking at the research. If you look at our research, we are mainly an applied artificial intelligence department with a strong research group in the core areas of artificial intelligence, machine learning and heuristic optimization, and then a bunch of strong applied fields in computer vision, in bioinformatics, and most notably, I guess, internationally recognized with our robotics group. What we expect from our students is mostly that they have a passion for the subject, that they are willing to engage fully and learn the subject.
So that is it for Aberystwyth University with all its dancing robots, but today I bring to you a beautiful student from the school who's going to give you amazing advice and is going to talk to you for a bit. And Amy, could you introduce yourself a bit?
Hi everybody, my name is Thảo and my English name is Amy, and I'm currently the master student in Aberystwyth University.
Yeah. So as I've heard, you're doing a very intensive master's degree in Aberystwyth, which is 12-month long consecutively, like you have to study continuously.
Yeah,
so how do you feel about it?
At first I feel very stressful about this because you have to spend the first 2 semesters on doing assignments and go to school and staying in the lectures, and also you have to pass the exam for that because the exam is always very stressful like in Vietnam. And also in the final semester, which means that during the summer, when all of the other students are going home and you have to stay here just for doing the assignments and dissertation.
So it's definitely a very challenging program, very, very rigorous.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you feel like it was a rewarding experience so far?
Oh yes, it's because you have to, it's very different if you study in Vietnam because you have experience in a very different country, different culture, totally different from what you expected in Vietnam.
How does it feel living at Aberystwyth U?
I was born in a very big city in Vietnam, so I got used to the city life. So at the first time I feel Aberystwyth is very not convenient for me, but after time to time, and I feel that Aberystwyth is very peaceful, very friendly. People are much more friendly than in London.
To close off, if you could give students back at home any advice before coming to Aberystwyth, what would you tell them?
The very first advice that I have to, it's also my lesson, that you have to be prepared before you go study abroad, because there is so much things you have to adapt it with the very new life that you can expect it. And also, I think that Vietnamese students should be very confident because not all of the students here are good at us. So you must be very confident about that, and you must
We've got the power.
Yeah, we have the power, and you sometimes you have to speak your voice, and you don't need to be shy.
So 3 very valuable pieces of advice. So you gotta be strong when coming into the UK, especially Aberystwyth. And thank you, Thảo, so much for joining me today. And it's been lovely talking to you. And this is lovely weather. And
yes,
hopefully,
very lovely today.
yeah, hopefully it's still lovely on the upcoming episodes. So you guys will have to check if it's lovely with us next Saturday. So see you soon.
See ya.
Aberystwyth was such a beautiful, beautiful school. And today we have alumni here in the studio who's going to tell you about her experience in Wales. Her name is Khánh, so let's see what she has to say. Hi, Hang.
Hi, Phoebe.
So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, what you studied in the UK, and what you're currently doing.
My name is Hang. I'm happy to be here today. I study project management master course in Aberystwyth in 2013. I have been working for some multinational company mostly in finance and HR, and now I start up my business in fiction.
That's fantastic. How has the study abroad experience shaped how you're currently doing your work at the moment?
Oh well, I study project management, and what I was thinking at that time is that everything in life is a project. Even you are cleaning the house, or you are doing something big, or you create a business, it's also a project. And ever since I study in Aberystwyth, it helps me to build up my skills, my negotiation, my communication, and my mindset. So after coming back from the master course in project management in Aberystwyth, I feel more confident in life, and I feel like I'm ready for everything, every project in my life.
How did you find your course? What was your research process like?
It's an opportunity. I was recommended by one of my friends. He's the one that I feel I really admired. So I asked him, where did you study? Why you become so charming and confident? And he just simply tell me that he studied in Aberystwyth, and I was questioning what Aberystwyth is. Then I feel, okay, I will search Aberystwyth. The first thing I know about Aberystwyth is it's so beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. And it's like, it's a mix of rural and urban, and it's a mix of everything that you need in Aberystwyth. And also the recommendation and the ranking of Aberystwyth is really high. So I picked Aberystwyth.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for sharing your experiences. It's lovely to have you here today. We hope that you've had a lot of fun today. We gave you tips. We also gave you experiences in the UK, all to showcase to you that you can have a lot of new knowledge that can help you to be on your way to more confidence and more eloquence. Now, just remember, personal presence and personal confidence, I do think it all boils down to communication. If somebody, or if us, we can be confident about what we want to say, we have a clear structure as to what we want to say and why we're saying those things, I do think that it can help us to be a lot more confident when we say something. So good luck in your journey towards confidence, and we'll see you again next time. For now, ciao ciao.